All right, so let us jump straight now into our sugar revolution. We are trying to really figure out what this revolution is about. And, later on we're going to be looking at the causes and effects. But for now, I just really want us to know what is the sugar revolution and what caused it. So let us look back on the handout. I'm not going to read through the handout. I'm just going to go through it really quickly for us. So we know that the sugar revolution had to do with four different territories. It had to do with Europe, Virginia, West Indies, and Brazil. All right. So let us examine now the pictures. By the way, Miss Harris, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. For last week, how far did you go through the actual pictures with them?
Yes, but it was only
Oh,
like four. I think it was Coffee. Asharu was here. I don't remember who else, but it was like three of them. Gordon, I
oh.
believe you were there, and Patterson.
Mhm. All right. So we do. So I don't need to go through the pictures. I can just go straight to the questions.
I don't think Dawkins had seen Dawkins. Is it the first time you're seeing this?
Mm, I don't know if he's answering.
Yes.
In
He said everyone is breaking up. And I
oh,
don't
so I
think
don't even know
Blake
what we're
had seen
asking.
it either.
All right. So let me quickly go through it then, right? Because we want them to really fully understand before we move on to the effects. So if they don't understand the sugar revolution, then they're not going to understand the effects of it. So let me just go straight into that. All right, guys. I know that you did it last week with Miss Harris, but remember I wasn't here, so let us hear what you have to say. Somebody please describe what is happening in this picture. All right, Kitara, go ahead.
The two persons sitting down and drinking honey.
Two persons sitting down, and what are they drinking?
Honey tea.
And I can't hear that word that she's saying. What are they
Honey tea.
drinking?
Honey
Coffee,
tea.
you said. Oh, tea. All right, good. And they are using what to sweeten it?
Honey.
Honey. Very good. All right, and how do they look? Do they look unhappy, or they're crying, or they're sad, or how do they look?
Honey.
Miss they look happy.
They look happy. All right. So just to give you the background information, in Europe, they were using honey to sweeten their teas and everything else, the coffee and in baking as well, and also for beverages. But they realized that two things: the honey was very expensive to get. That's the first thing. And the second thing is when you drink honey or eat it or whatever, swallow it, it leaves a little aftertaste in your mouth that you might not really want. So they were now looking for a substitute for the honey, and they found it when they found out that you can get sugar from the sugar cane. Now the only problem is that in Europe, the climate, it was too cold for them to grow the sugarcane right there. So now they had to look for a territory where they could get this sugar from. All right, so that is the only thing you need to know as it relates to Europe and what was going on there. Let me move on to the next one. All right, so here we have a picture again. Josiah, could you tell me what's happening in this picture?
A farmer is looking at his crops.
Very good. So a farmer is looking at his crops. What's the name of the crops that he's planted?
Tobacco.
Excellent. And how do the crops look? Do they look healthy and strong?
Yes, miss.
And what about his expression? Is he sad? Is he upset? Is he happy?
He's happy.
All right, excellent. So this is what happened in Virginia. So there was a man who visited Trinidad. His name was John Rolfe. So he went on vacation and he went to Trinidad. And when he was in Trinidad, they introduced him to tobacco. And he liked it so much that he said, you know what? I don't want to leave this tobacco here in Trinidad. I want to take a sample of it and see if it will grow back in Virginia. And when he did that, he was amazed to find out that the tobacco did grow in Virginia, and the one that he was growing in Virginia was of a stronger grade. It was of a high grade. Now, I know that marijuana is now legal in Jamaica, but I'm sure that we are not smoking it. But I'm sure that you know of it where you have seen guys talking about the highest grade and all of that. So what they mean is that the quality of the tobacco is good. So that is what I'm saying. That when Virginia took that tobacco over to Virginia and planted it, and it started to spread and it started to grow, it was growing, it was a better quality than the one that was in Trinidad. And another thing is that Virginia had more land space than what was in the West Indies. So they had more acres of land that they could plant this tobacco on. So you need to remember two things with Virginia: quality in the type of tobacco that was grown there. The quality was better than in the West Indies, and quantity, meaning that they had much more space and therefore their farms were larger than the ones in the West Indies. All right, so let us go over now to try and find the picture. I don't know the picture. All right, let us go now to the West Indies. All right, who am I going to ask? Shawayne, can you just tell me about this picture, please?
Miss the plants are dying.
All right, so we have another farmer, but these plants seem to be dying. Excellent. And what does the sign say in the background?
Tobacco.
Right, and so we know that it is a tobacco farm. All right, but there's another sign beside the tobacco sign. What does that one say?
Miss, I can't see that.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't even know if it can. Anybody else can see it? I don't even know if I can.
Miss, it looks like it
Yeah.
says no sale.
Excellent. So it says no sale. All right. So Showing, my last question for you is this: how does the farmer look?
He look hot, miss, like in the sweat
Like he's
and
sweating
depressed.
and depressed, exactly, because no longer can he make a profit from selling tobacco because his tobacco sales have gone down. And why have they gone down? Because persons are now buying their tobacco from Virginia, because the tobacco in Virginia was of a better quality and Virginia had more of it to sell. So no longer were the tobacco farmers in Jamaica and in the West Indies able to sell enough tobacco to make a profit. So he was actually going out of business. All right, I soon tie up all four regions, but you just need to know what was happening in all four regions before I can tie it up together. All right, last picture is Brazil. And I'm gonna ask for Ayana Blake to tell me what she sees. Is the mic working, Ayana, or are you writing in the chat? Anybody say anything in the chat?
Miss, she says she's typing it in the chat.
Oh, excellent. So we just wait on that. So in the meantime, while she is telling me all about the picture, all right, this reminds me of a maths thing. I don't even know how to do it again. It's called simultaneous equations, where whatever you do on one side, you're supposed to do on the next side. Something like that, guys. You would know. So what I'm saying is, what is done in one country seems to be affecting another country. And so in the end, we will see how all four of these territories have come together to make the sugar revolution happen. All right. Is she finished with the chat? I can't see what's happening.
No, miss.
No. Okay, I really wanted her to tell me before I go into the explanation. Um, Let me give her half a minute again. And I see, oh, we still have Ayana and so Miss Harris, only two of these students are in my class, and the rest are from, no, three of them are from me and two are for you.
Two alone, right, right.
Right, so you can write up your register. Let me get mine in the meantime. Somebody tell me when she writes the thing, because I'm waiting on her. I don't want to do the explanation without her telling me what's happening in the picture. And she says she's writing. So let's see. Once again, I have to what they call it, encourage A2 to come to the extra classes that I'm having on Thursday. Right? We had a class yesterday. It was so good. I had something the teacher in there, a student
Miss, I think that
teacher.
more people, Miss, I think that more people would come if it was face to face.
Yes, that is true. I agree. But because it's not, we just have to try and carry on. All right, I am writing on the register. Anything yet from her? She's typing long, man. Is what she's telling me over there. Anything yet? No.
No,
All
miss.
right. Guitar, you want to go? You want to give me what you see? Tell me what you see, because I don't hear anything
Miss, I think
from
that
her.
they didn't share the land equally.
Okay, so in the picture, you are seeing that Brazil is being divided between the Dutch and the Portuguese, right? That's what you're seeing?
Yes, Miss.
Okay, excellent. Now, what are the men doing? I know it's kind of hard to make out, but what do you think that they're doing? Do they look like
Miss,
they
to
have
me, it
weapons
look
They're
like
what?
the Dutch is saying they want to go over on the Portuguese land.
Right, and the Portuguese don't want that to happen, right?
Miss, because if basically in the world, Miss, if they take over that property, they're going to enslave the people more than give them a better life.
All right, excellent. So they are now fighting for the right to stay in Brazil. All right, excellent. Thank you. So let me go into the explanation. It's really simple. Um, the Dutch and the Portuguese were two different ethnic groups who occupied Brazil at that time, and they started to compete against each other for ownership of Brazil. They didn't want to share the land between them. They just wanted everyone to be of the same ethnic group there. And so when the Dutch started to win the war, they actually exiled about 500 of the Portuguese men who they caught in the battle. So during the battle, they caught 500 Portuguese men, and we call those men prisoners of war, and they exiled them. What does exile mean?
Miss get rid of.
To get rid of. They wanted them off of Brazil, they kicked them out, said, go find somewhere else to live. However, what the Dutch did was very premature because later on, they actually lost the war. And because of what they had done to the Portuguese decided that they want none of them to stay in Brazil. So the Portuguese took their revenge and they said, Dutch, we want anybody who is Dutch to leave Brazil, leave and do not come back, every single one of you. And so now the Dutch had to go with their ships. They had to pack up everything and leave Brazil. And now they were homeless and they were refugees. Now the refugee is somebody who comes from an original place, but for some reason or other, they have to leave it. And when they leave it now, they have to go somewhere else to live. So here were the Dutch leaving Brazil behind, and they didn't know where to go. But then guess what? They heard about the problems that the tobacco farmers were having in the West Indies. And the Dutch knew how to change over from planting tobacco to planting sugarcane. So what they did was they went over there and they offered them their services. So here they went over to the West Indies now. Let me go back to that picture to show you. Right here where these tobacco farmers were having problems, they went back to them and they said, okay, it's fine. We are going to help you to change your tobacco crop from tobacco to sugarcane. And then not only that, we are going to give you our ships because when you're planting tobacco, you don't need a lot of help. However, when you're planting sugarcane, you need hundreds of persons on that field to make sure that you get the most out of your sugarcane. You need hundreds of workers. And so the Dutch said, we'll give you the ships, we will go to West Africa and kidnap those West Africans and put them into slavery. We will bring them back over to the West Indies to work on your sugarcane plantation. And this is why the Dutch became known as the foster fathers because they transformed the West Indies from tobacco farming to sugarcane. All right. So let us now look at the pictures based on my explanation and based on the audio that you should have listened to. Let us now look at the questions. All right. Now I don't want Kitara to be answering everything, so I'm really going to be going alternately between one to the next student. All right, to make it fair. All right. So Kitara, I'm gonna ask you to start us off. Can you name the four territories involved in the start of the sugar revolution?
Miss four territories.
The
Miss
four
Virginia,
countries. That's it. Yes.
Jamaica.
As in the West Indies, not Jamaica alone. Say it as the West Indies.
So, Miss, the West Indies cover up the territories, or do you have to name more?
No, man. In other words, it's four different areas. The West Indies had several different countries, but it is only one territory. So the West Indies is only one out of the four that you're supposed to tell me about.
Okay, the West Indies, Virginia, Miss England,
Yes, Europe,
Europe, what else?
and the last one that I spoke about.
I'm gonna ask him.
Mm, Miss, let me
Yeah, we
see.
went. Remember when they were fighting? You don't remember which country that they were fighting over a country,
Dutch.
right?
Or-
No, I
oh,
mean
Miss
the Dutch were fighting. So, what is the name of the country that they were fighting over?
Brazil.
Right, thank you. So, in order to answer that question, we would say that the four territories involved in the start of the sugar revolution were Brazil, Virginia,
The West
Europe,
and
and the
India.
West Indies. Excellent. Thank you, Kitara. All right, number two, Shuin, how did we travel to these territories in this lesson? How did we get there? That would have been in the audio. I don't know if you remember. I told you that we were going to take something to go over to the four different areas. Do you remember?
No, miss.
All right. We were taking. Let me give you a clue. Let me go back in because I want you guys. And remember that all of this is on your Google classroom. I hope Miss Harris has put it on hers. I know it's there for me.
Yes, it is there.
Okay, great. So they have it and can use it. Oh, that reminds me, guys. Your test is coming up too. Your end of month test is coming up, and it is very important because that is the grade that we put on your report along with your December examinations. So for social studies, you really have to read over all of the PowerPoints and make sure that you know what I'm going to be asking you, the answers to the questions on the Google Forms. And you have to do it well. All right. The goal, guys, is for you to get 60% or over. All right. So, Shawane, I think it was you who I was talking to. How did we travel in this lesson?
By plane, miss.
Yeah, what is the name of the plane?
Nib Airways.
All right, great. So we took Nib Airways and we traveled and we went to Brazil, Virginia, Europe, and the West Indies. All right, let me quickly go back to the question. Okay. Now let me ask Ashari. Ashari still with us? No, Ashari gone. Josiah, number three. What were the two reasons why Europeans desired to change from using honey to using sugar from the sugar cane?
Miss, because honey was expensive, and after eating or drinking honey, it left an aftertaste in their mouth.
Excellently answered. Thank you so much. All right. So I think everyone has gone except Ashari. I hope you don't get kicked out again. This is for you for number four. Why wouldn't why couldn't sugar be grown in Europe? I want Ashari to give me a response for that one. Why couldn't we grow sugar in Europe?
Miss, maybe he cannot get to here because he said everyone is breaking up.
Oh, all right. So Josiah, give me that answer, please. Oh, Kitara, you can do number five for me. Josiah, do you
Miss,
have any
because
idea?
the weather the weather in Europe was cold.
Whereas the weather in the West Indies is what?
It's warm.
Warm. Thank you. So when you compare the West Indies to Europe, you realize that Europe is cold and the sugarcane plants cannot do well in a cold environment. However, over by the West Indies, we have a tropical climate, which is hot. So the sugarcane will grow wonderfully down here. All right, so now, Kitara, what four products was sugar needed for in Europe?
It was used for baking.
Excellent.
Which isn't baking the only thing it's used for?
No, sir. I'm
Making
waiting on
tea.
you. I'm here waiting. It's four things. So baking,
Making tea.
yes, good. Another
What
hot
else?
beverage was listed there too. I don't think you guys start drinking that yet because you're kind of young, but adults love it.
Miss Alcohol.
No man, it's a hot drink I'm talking about that you can get at the supermarket. You can get it at the gas stations. You can just go in and pay for it and then you put the token in the machine.
Miss Soda.
Mm-mm. Hot.
Coffee.
Yes, excellent. Yes, you said coffee before? You said tea, right? Did you say
Yes, ma'am.
coffee as well? Oh,
I
I'm
thought
so
that
sorry, I didn't hear. No, sir, me never hear coffee none talk. All right, so tea and coffee and baking and one more thing. It begins with B. So yesterday I had a strawberry soda. What would we call that? That begins with B, and it was cold.
Mr. Smoothie. Also.
Mm-mm. What is the B word for drinks?
Beverage.
When you go to the restaurant and they ask you what type of B word would you like to drink?
Beverage. Beverage.
Right, excellent. Thank you so much. So it is coffee and tea, baking and beverages that were needed in Europe. Excellent. Now I saw a hand go up. Who was it? Was it Josiah? Or see Ayana? Ayana, you're back? Well, it's not that Ayana wasn't back, but her speaker not working or something. I don't know. I'm not hearing anything at all from her. All right, number 6. What did John Rolfe do? Anybody? Anybody knows what that man did? John Rolfe.
He
Showing
was
and
being unfair to the
okay.
people.
No man, John Rolfe was a visitor. He visited somewhere in the West Indies. What did he do? Where did he visit? John Rolfe went somewhere. And when he went there, he sampled something.
The tobacco farm, miss.
All right, so he went to where was the tobacco farm that he went to?
In Trinidad and Tobago.
Excellent. So he went to Trinidad and Tobago and he got some tobacco there and it was nice. So what did he do with the tobacco?
Take it back to Virginia.
Excellent. And when he took it to Virginia, what did he do with it there?
Plant it, miss.
Excellent. That's all I wanted you to tell me. John Rolfe went to Trinidad, sampled tobacco, fell in love with it, transported it from Trinidad to Virginia, where he planted it. Excellent. For that question, I should have had more marks, because it's whole heap of things I wanted. All right, for number 7, Virginia had better blank and more blank of tobacco than the West Indies. What are these two words that I'm looking for? Go ahead for me, Josiah.
It had better tobacco and it had a stronger smell.
You're getting there, but you're not there yet. It's two words that I stressed on when I was talking to you.
Quality and land, miss.
Okay, so where would we put the quality? Which one of the blank spaces?
The first one, miss.
Thank you. So Virginia had better quality and more.
Land.
Land
No,
space.
no, no. Another word that starts with the same letter that quality starts with.
Quantity.
Thank you. Excellent. Virginia had better quality and more quantity of tobacco than the West Indies. All right. Excellent. Number 8. Why was it ironic that the tobacco from Trinidad began competing with the tobacco from Virginia? In other words, anybody understands what irony means?
Miss Ironic mean great.
No,
Also,
not
miss.
necessarily. So you're surprised that something has happened. All right, I don't think you guys know this one, so let me just fill your team. This was a kind of hard one. All right, so can you imagine that? um John Rolfe came over to Trinidad, took a sample of the tobacco from Trinidad back to Virginia, and now the Virginian tobacco was competing with the West Indian tobacco. So it's ironic that it came from the West Indies, and yet the Virginians are now competing against them with the same product that they took from the West Indies. I want everybody to be clear about that. Do you understand what I'm saying to you?
Yes, miss.
All right. All right, we'll soon be finished. What are the two other names for the West Indies? What other names can we call the West Indies?
The Caribbean, miss.
Yes, that's one. Excellent.
British colonies.
I will accept that too, although that's not the one I was looking for, but I will accept that. So the West Indies is otherwise called the British West Indies, the Caribbean, or the Americas. I'm not talking about Americas in the United States of America, but the region where Jamaica and Cuba and Hispaniola are is known as the Americas. So please make note of that. All right. Number 9. What are the two other names? Oh, I just did that. Number 10. What is a cash crop? Is it FB?
It's a crop that people sell to make money.
Thank you. Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted. It is not that you just what you call it, growing some tomatoes out there, so and then you're gonna use them in your dinner at home. No, you're specifically growing this crop so that you can sell it and make some money from it. All right. Um, can you give me two of the cash crops that we looked at in today's lesson?
Miss coffee and sugar cane, or tobacco and sugar
Excellent.
cane.
Tobacco and sugarcane. All right, tobacco and sugarcane. Excellent. Now, who were the two ethnic groups who were competing for the ownership of Brazil?
Miss the Dutch and the Portuguese.
And the Portuguese.
Wonderful, wonderful. The Dutch and the Portuguese. All right. What does it mean to be exiled?
Miss to be cast out of.
Miss, when you are from a country and you are removed for some reasons.
Yes, both of you are correct. All right. Who is a foster father?
Miss a foster father is like a country or a state that supports you and act as your wingman or owner, miss.
Owner for a time being, and then most foster children would actually go back to the biological parents if everything works out. But if not, then they can be adopted. So you can be a foster child for many years or a short period of time until your parents get it together and then they bring you back to your parents, especially in the United States, not so much out here in Jamaica. All right. So was it appropriate to state that the Dutch were the fathers for the farmers in the West Indies? Is that yes? Go ahead, Kitara.
Miss I say yes, it
Yes,
was
miss.
appropriate for them to be the foster fathers of the Caribbean farmers because they helped them gain money.
Excellent. Was anybody going to say anything different from that?
Yes,
All
miss. I
right.
think
Yes,
that
Josiah.
miss. I say yes because they were the ones who decided to bring sugarcane to the Caribbean so they can plant it.
Right, and this would help out the tobacco farmers. It's computer. Yeah, where is it? Looks like you have to do something. All right. We just have a few more questions to go, and then I'm gonna ask you guys to do an activity for me. Or you know what? I don't want the time to run out. So hold on. Let me stop at this question. So we did questions 1 to number 15. Next class we can look at the rest. What I want you guys to do now for me is simple. I'm gonna give you some sentences and I'm gonna ask you to put the hold on, let me bring it up guys. I have to bring up the PowerPoint first before you guys can get that assignment. All right. All right. It's gonna be very, very simple. You are going to be putting the words into the sentences based on the meanings of the word. So, in other words, once you know what the meaning of the word actually is, it's going to be very easy for you to fill in the blank spaces with the correct word. All right, so let me bring that up for you guys right now. And I'm going to give you some time to do this. All right, let me see. All right. Activity one, the instruction says put the key terms in the correct sentences below. I don't even know if I can get it bigger than how it is now. All right. Let me see if I can go down a little bit. So you don't really need the instructions. What you need is the actual slide. But when I go slideshow, you don't see what I am seeing. I notice that it's not getting bigger for you. All right, hold on. Let me come back out. Huh? All right, good. So I think that you can now see what you done again. I think that I'm trying to get it so that you can see all 10 of the sentences so that I don't have to keep moving the screen for you. And the words are in a table right above it. All right, guys. So I'm giving you 10 minutes to fill that in and then we'll come back and have our discussion. Please don't leave the meet. Just do this for me. Write down the sentences and put in the words in the blank spaces.
Miss, the words go together, don't miss.
When you say words go
Or say,
together, say it
miss,
again. I don't
because I
understand.
see, miss, because I see sugar revolution, do you put them together or you separate them?
Oh no man, separate it, please.
Okay.
Separate it.
Miss, are we going to begin now?
Yeah, I'm just waiting. I wanted everybody to be finished. All right, so is everybody finished now? Every single one of you?
Yes, miss.
All right, Josiah.
Yes, miss.
All right, Shuane.
Yes, miss.
All right, who is that? Who I haven't spoken to? Oh, Ayana, something wrong with her. Some. All right, let us start then. So you were supposed to put in the correct words in the sentences. Number one, the queen knew that there was a threat of blank. What is supposed to go there?
revolution.
Threat of revolution. All right, thank you. He filled the bowl of his pipe with
Tobacco.
blanks tobacco. All right. Kitara's answered the first two. Let's ask somebody else for the next two. She sprinkles blank on her buttered toast. Anybody else can
Sugar,
reply? Um,
sugar,
wow.
or honey.
Yes, it's okay. I think maybe I have it. Let me write down number three. Sugar, because it says sprinkled, so that wouldn't be honey. I hope I didn't mix it up. All right, number four. A civil blank broke out between the two groups. Wait, hold on. You know what? Let me look for my
War,
answers because right now. Oh, yes, war is there. I'm wondering how this thing sounds so strange. Yes, a civil war broke out between the two groups. Great. Number five, they offer blank at a reasonable price.
Quantity or
No, it's the other
quality.
one. It's
Quality.
quality. Right, excellent. It was, so if you have it wrong, just correct it for me. It was a tragic blank that he made himself sick by worrying so much about his health.
Irony.
Yes, great. The blank has been thrown open to the public.
Competition.
competition,
Competition, excellent. What is the maximum blank we can order?
Quantity.
quantity,
Quantity, right? That is where the quantity should have been. Number nine, she lifted the pouch of blank and poured some of it on each of their pancakes.
Honey.
honey,
Right, great. And then
honey.
finally, several more blank had arrived earlier in the day.
Refugee.
Right. So several more refugees, I would have put an S on it, I'm sorry, had arrived earlier in the day. I'm gonna be ending the class and giving you your homework. So please write down the homework. Find something to write it in.
Yes, miss.
All right, ready. Write a letter to a friend explaining the four reasons.
Do you say explaining?
Explaining. Write a letter to a friend explaining the four reasons why the sugar revolution began. If I can quickly write it here, so you can see the instructions, right? A letter to a friend explaining the four reasons why the sugar revolution began. Please remember that your letter must have an appropriate address. So right here you can use your Jamaican address because you're writing from the West Indies. All right. It must have salutations, as in you are saying greetings, I should say greetings. It should be in the format of a letter. So you're talking to somebody, dear Aunt Susie, or dear Kimon, whoever your friend is. That's what I'm talking about. Remember that your signature should be at the end of it. And please remember, of course, you have the body of the letter. Do not, for any reason, write off exactly what is on the handout. That's not what I want because that makes no sense. I don't want you to just write off what is on the handout. I want you to really be talking to your friend and you're going to be explaining in your own words why the sugar revolution began. So if I'm reading your letter or Miss Harris is reading your letter and we realize that you have just taken it straight from the handout, then you're going to get a zero for that and you would have wasted your time and energy. Please read it for yourself, put it in your own words, and it must, as I said, it must sound as if you really are writing to a friend. Everybody understand the instructions? Guys, are you
Yes, miss.
understanding? All right, that's all I want to hear now. So,
Yes,
Miss
yes.
Harris, you heard they said that they understand. All right.
Yes, I hear.
Okay. So we will see. All right. Did you take down your names? Because I'm going to release them now. Miss Harris, did you
I
take
have
down your
my
name?
two students that are here. I don't have anything else right now.
Okay. All right. All right. So guys, thank you so much for coming to today's class. We ended before the time and that is okay. Just please remember to go to your next classes on time and to go to registration at the end of the day. Please enjoy your weekend and Miss Harris and I look forward to seeing you again next week. All right?
Bye. Take care.
Bye. Bye guys.
But
Bye bye.